Good morning. Today we have our General Affairs Council meeting. We will be preparing the agenda for the European Council meeting later in October, and there will be many important topics on that agenda for us to discuss today. One of the very important topics on the agenda will be defense. We are living in a changing world with the need for Europe to be able to defend itself. This is a top priority also for the Danish presidency. We will be discussing how Europe can be able to defend itself by 2030. Also, we'll be discussing Ukraine, and we will be discussing competitiveness. On our agenda for the General Affairs Council meeting today, it is a special rule of law we will be discussing. We will be discussing the Council's report on the situation of rule of law horizontal in member states. This is the sixth time we have this horizontal debate on rule of law, and it shows how important rule of law is for EU, for the values of EU. I'm very much looking forward to that discussion. And last but not least, we will also be discussing rule of law in 4 specific candidate countries, namely Albania, Montenegro, North Macedonia, and Serbia. And it also shows the importance of enlargement, that we take it seriously, and that rule of law is an important part of enlargement.
And what about the accession negotiations with Ukraine? Because are you searching for some plan B to open the first cluster for Ukraine? Because Hungary is blocking it since
Accession negotiations with Ukraine is very important. It's important for EU, and it is in particular important for the Danish EU presidency. It is one of our top priorities. It is a geopolitical necessity, how we see it. It is about security in Ukraine, but also security for Europe and our capability of defending ourselves in the future. We are putting pressure on Hungary to formally open the first cluster, and if that's not possible, we as a Danish presidency are working on all other political or practical measures we can do in order to bring Ukraine closer to the EU. We have in fact already done so. For instance, in July we made the agreement Rome Like a Home is now available for Ukraine 1st of January next year, and that make Ukraine come closer to EU. No, we're still pressing Hungary. Our initial goal is still to open cluster 1 and preferably also more clusters. In fact, Ukraine would be ready to open all clusters this year. This is what the Commission says. It would be in line with the merit-based approach, and that is why we are still pressuring Hungary. But we also do realize that Hungary is still blocking, and that is why we are also at the same time, we're not excluding that we can still pressure Hungary, but at the same time we're also working on other political or practical measures to see how we can move forward the negotiation process without formally opening the clusters, helping Ukraine to make the proper reforms, meaning that when we will be able to formally open, we can pretty soon close the clusters again, bringing Ukraine closer to EU.
Regarding sanctions against Russia, now the Commission has postponed the next presentation of the sanction package. Do you know why? And what is going to be next? Like when this package will be announced?
The Commission is still working on the next sanction packages, and we do expect it soon. The Danish presidency are looking forward to that. Denmark has always supported the toughest possible approach to sanction, and we are looking forward to further discussing the new sanction package.
What are the tools they're using to pressure Hungary?
Well, we keep the discussion. For instance, we did have an informal meeting in the General Affairs Council in Copenhagen 2 weeks ago, where we put the enlargement on the agenda, showing that it is clear that all member countries except Hungary do want us to move forward with negotiations with Ukraine. Also, the fact that Ukraine is delivering and making reforms, showing the willingness, and that is also putting a pressure on Hungary.
The sanctions issue, the 19th package, there is some reports that it's out of the table now due to the fact that Mr. President wants the EU to do its job, especially stopping the oil exports talking about Hungary
That
and other countries that are more dependent and they need more time. Do you think the EU is following this path, putting aside the 19th package of sanctions and focusing, as Washington wants, on oil exports?
That's nothing that I can confirm. We are still working on the next sanction packages, and it is important that we keep on moving forward with the sanction. The Danish presidency will support that direction. And I'm sorry, I have to go now, as we had a meeting that is starting in a short time, but we will have a press conference after our General Affairs Council meeting, and I invited all of you to take part in that press conference. Thank you very much.